Hi, my name's Andy. I train at Roger Gracie Academy Lee, uh, and I thought I'd share the experience of my first jiu-jitsu competition. I saw that Dave, our head coach at RJ Lee, he did what I thought was an interesting video on his experience of his recent competition, um, talking through what his thought processes were during his 10-minute sub-only match, and I feel like them types of videos you can get a lot from and learn a lot from. This video is a little bit different. You're not going to learn too much from me being a one strike white belt, but hopefully it'll give you an insight into what I thought of my first competition, and perhaps get anyone interested in competitions who's not done them before. So it was a BJJ All Stars in Manchester in January. And I'd probably, without blabbing on, I've written some notes here, would just fire just three concepts at you, what I was thinking going into the competition. Just to give you a bit of background about me, my previous training, I've done about a year's worth of jiu-jitsu on and off over the last couple of years, mostly in Ogi at an MMA gym. Shout out to Black Ledge MMA. Appreciated the experience there, and a little bit of gi as well. I've also played rugby league for a long time. Done some other contact sports. Had a go at boxing. You name it. I've been training at Roger Gracie Academy Lee for about 4 months now. Got back to grips with what I already knew, and then started to improve there. And currently a one strike white belt. So that's sort of my background. Thoughts going into competition. I was nervous, but saw it as good nerves. It's something I've been used to before from sort of rugby matches and things like that. Can get on top of you, but you'll have like an adrenaline dump, but it's going to be okay. Just use the nerves to your advantage. Everyone's going to deal with them differently. And crucially, probably most importantly, I had a game plan going in. Dave checked to see if I had a game plan going in, to which I did, and I thought I'd just try and stick to what I know, and try and not. The aim was not to get submitted in 10 seconds and do anything daft, and have a quick day and not really give myself a chance. And it was probably also not to like run through any opponents and dominate them. That might sound weird, but I kind of wanted some experience and length of time on the mat, and kind of to know what I'm in for, if that makes sense. And I definitely got that going in. The game plan was to stick to what I know. Start with a double leg takedown if I could get it. Obviously achieve a dominant position, and then I was aware of the points before. I looked into the IBJJF point system, and I knew things like if I was in side control, if I passed the guard at side control, I get 3 points. If I then go to knee on belly, I get an extra 2 points on my way to mount. And if you mount, that's 4 points. So like just using that knee on belly transition and being aware of the point system, as well as I could do before it. So I would recommend looking into that. So to get into this first bout, there was only 4 competitors in my group. I'm in the white belts, 94.3 kilos, Masters 1, which is 30 to 35-year-olds. Now, I've stood across from my first opponent, Darren, his name was, nice bloke, I was chatting to him, and Dave, my coach, said, this guy looks pretty old, like, I don't see him being 30, 35, and I mean, this guy looked older than a conker tree. Sorry, Darren, but yeah, to be fair to him, he was 57, this guy, from Gracie Barra, Bradford, and I thought, like, the mental side started to kick in as I was stood at the edge of the mat, and I thought, I'm not going to let a 57-year-old beat me here. So I started to become probably a bit more nervous and put a bit more pressure on myself. So anyway, I was psychologically trying to get myself prepared at the last minute, even though I was sort of chatting to the guy, laughing and joking with him. Steps onto the mat, sort of like wiping my feet, you know, like fixing my gi, like stern face, like I wasn't really kidding anyone, but I was trying to get myself in the right frame of mind. So this video clip starts at me pulling guard, which isn't something I often do. I often try to take people down. I feel like it's, for me, just I've not got a lot of skill in taking people down. It's just a confidence thing, and if I try and hit it with a bit of enthusiasm and confidence, I have been getting some takedowns in training, mostly double leg takedowns and stuff like that. So that was my plan, but having got good grips on my gi, and for the want of a better word, shit myself, and thought, just as a safety measure, I'm going to pull guard here. So this is where we start in the video. So we can crack on with this. He lands in my guard, and he immediately starts going to cross collar choke me. Now, gi fighting, cross collar choke, the grip game, it's not something I usually play, and probably don't do the best job at defending. So I wasn't really grabbing his hands off too much and hand fighting. Dave, as you see there in my corner, was talking to me through it. I could, even though he wasn't shouting, I could hear every word he said, and I focused into to his voice. So that's something to consider for anyone looking to do a comp. You know, you have someone in your corner, make sure you can hear them, because that advice when, you know, you're full of adrenaline and everything goes out the window, like that's really valuable to have someone in your corner. So he's trying to cross collar choke me. I'm trying to push him away, keep him away with the hips. And I try and get my feet on his hips, and I want to stand up here. I'm sick of the pressure he's been putting on me for about 30, 40 seconds. Try to get my feet on his hips, and I'm thinking, right, I want to stand up here and sort of reset. I'm grabbing his sleeves. Looks like what I know to be spider guard, even though I don't know what I'm doing in spider guard, and I get up in a scramble. Disclaimer, this is the worst takedown attempt I've probably ever attempted in my life, and was a blind panic, and I didn't deserve to get anything out of it. So if we just jump back a second, this is abysmal, and it puts me straight on my back ass, and luckily I roll him over and get into side control, which I did not deserve to be in after such a crap takedown attempt. But I thought, right, I'll sit here and make sure I get the points and just keep it tight, keep tight to his body. Just skip back there a bit. And as I said before, I knew before going in, you get an extra 2 points for going on to knee on belly. So that's what I tried to do here. Didn't do a very good job at it, and got rolled straight over, and I just thought I'd try and get to my feet again. But I'm 3 points up at this moment in time. Didn't really know that at the time. So I did a sort of inside foot trip there. I'm not, you know, too amazing at takedowns. Just managed to get grips on his collar, get him off balance and trip him up. And I land in his half guard, trying to pass his knee, whilst he's got like a good grip of cross grip of my collar, lapel and collar. Break the grips, sit back with some posture, and I tend to use my head in situations like this. It might catch me out if it could choke me in the future. I might learn a harsh lesson from sticking my head in there like that. And then again, I'm trying to pass his knee all the time, trying to get side control on him out. But he's got a pretty consistent grip. Stand up, try and disengage, go at it from another angle. Fix the gi. And then he stands up again. So I go for a double leg, but I'm miles away, he sees it coming. And somehow end up back in half guard again. and he's trying to bridge and roll with his arm not in the best place for him, as I'm trying to edge up and pass my knee through his guard. It's got my head under his arm there. And I get to mount, which was quite lucky. I'm conscious here. I want to sit here for 2 seconds and get the points while I'm in mount, so that's another 4 points. Dave tells me to, work the arm up, which I start doing along the mat, and then this is the sort of crucial moment in where he's bridging and rolling, but keeps this hand on my gi way too long and sort of gives me a gift. So I think, right, I'll have that arm, and I try and arm bar him and go for the arm lock. And I quite like this ankle on the back of the head detail on arm bars, even though it was more of a shin. And then I hyperextend his elbow, and I do sort of go for it in that moment and think, right, I want to ensure that I win here. And I was knackered at this point, had enough. Clamped it on pretty hard. And then I'm sure I heard him, so I disengaged here, and I'm sure I heard him say yes, 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 even though the ref wasn't stopping it, and I didn't want to hurt the guy. You know what I mean? I'd hate to injure anyone. So I was saying to the ref, like, "Are you joking?" Like, through fear of hurting the guy, really, saying, I'm sure he's tapping. You can see on the video he actually does tap, but the ref couldn't see that. Confirmed that he did tap. He'd given up, and that's the first round. So win by armbar. Pretty exciting, thick and fast for myself. Like, big adrenaline dump. Felt really tired really quickly. Lots of scrambling, and yeah, it's massively more difficult than any role I've ever done before in the gym. It just adds that extra element to it. So if we go to my next match, only had 2 matches in gi, semi-final and final, with only 4 people in the match in the category. This is Andres from Gracie Barra Warrington with slap hands, and I immediately give myself some space and move back to try and go for the double leg, which was my game plan. I end up scrambling and sort of tying him up, dragging him down to turtle position. Something I go for quite often is the Peruvian necktie, just because I don't know a lot of options to attack from when they're in turtle. And I've had some success with the Peruvian necktie, but I didn't do a great job at this. He's got his hand inside one of my hands, so I'm not going to get like great pressure on the neck, as I tried to step over his head and it just didn't work. So I thought I'd reset, hips back down, and then I do persistently try it again and again through this round, just through like I'm not knowing anything else. I jumped to a guillotine, which is, again, guillotines aren't something I really do, but I've had this movement where they jump under and crank the guillotine on, done to me so many times. I just saw it there and I thought, right, I'm going to have a go. Dave's talking me through sort of which way I should crank the neck at the time, and I'm really trying to squeeze it on there and finish, but arm's burning out a little bit, and he does a good job at getting his head out, to be fair. So I've got burnt out arms, he's in my guard, and then I'm just trying to come up with something to grab his collar. I'm not great at collar chokes. I'm looking for something to make him uncomfortable at the very least. I'll give him something to think about. And then he passes my guard with relative ease. So this is the biggest thing I've learned in doing this competition and reviewing these videos, is that I allow people to pass my guard so easily. And it's a big problem. I've highlighted a massive issue to myself, that they not only get 3 points for passing your guard, of course, it puts you in much worse positions, and they're able to advance and attack from there. And it may seem obvious, like, you don't want anyone to pass your guard, but for whatever reason, I didn't get the memo on that, and it was really like laid back and lackadaisy about people passing my guard. So that's the biggest thing I took away from it. And started to change my approach of how easily I let people pass my guard. So he ends up in side control. And that, although I took him down, I got 2 points here. He got 3 points for passing my guard, and it is immediately beating me on points just through, laziness on my part. So I've got my foot on my knee to try and stop him mounting me, and he's putting pressure on my far side shoulder, trying to keep some weight on. I try and hip out there and get my guard back. I think I've got my knee across, maybe 1 foot inside. Got his back of his collar. Usually try and get the other foot inside. I've got some sort of butterfly and a half-hearted grip on his collar, half-hearted collar choke. I go to what I know in the turtle position, looking for the Peruvian necktie again. It's not really going to come off for me though. Trying to get the right S grip or gable grip under his neck. And he grabs my belt, it looks like it at this point, so I didn't feel like I could stand up. Into the Peruvian necktie, so I'm kind of overthinking it now, and he's just running forward like a rhino, like skimming me across the mat, but I'm trying to keep my hips down. Never done like this sort of sequence before. It's a bit weird. And then I stand up at the complete wrong time, didn't have his head, and he was straight out of the Peruvian necktie. And I just sort of scrambling, and we end up going off the mat for a reset. So at this point, I'm thinking, right, I'm knackered, but I've got to take him down. Don't give up. Fake a double leg and grab his collar, keep my posture low, and then attempt a trip, which comes off. Catches one of my legs, so I'm in half guard, and then try and just get some decent posture over his far shoulder. I'm giving him too much space there. He's getting tucked in, and I'm not really flattened him out enough or put too much pressure on him or giving loads of space. I grab his belt at a last-ditch attempt, but he is getting up, and he gets back to turtle and tries to push me again. That again, just a weak give of my guard again. He's passed my guard by me just rolling over from turtle, rolling over and dying. That is crap. I've just given 3 points so easily there. I could have avoided that. So he ends up in side control again. Not giving me much space. He's moving around, keeping it quite tight though. Tries to step over, and I luckily get the leg inside and flick his leg over to stop him mounting. And then again, go to the same position in turtle. Probably try to stand up for another Peruvian necktie. This is just panicking now and sticking to the same Peruvian necktie move, even though it's not happening time and time again. It's pretty much all I know from that position, so it was just going all in on that one submission attempt. Tried to transition to his back, didn't get his hooks in, which I probably should have made more of an effort to get on his back there, because you get 4 points for that. Not to mention you can do some good attacks from there. Weird scramble in which I'm trying to get away. He grabs my legs, takes me down. I think, right, got to get turning him here, get my legs out relatively easy, and then kind of make this bit up as I'm going along. Grabbed his collar, and he held on to me with the arm, which was a gift, really. As I've got the back of his collar, he's held onto me with one arm, and I'm not the type of person to throw a triangle on anyone, but just saw it as a gift, and had a sort of half flying triangle attempt. Locked it up pretty quick. Got a bit of a side angle then, and he still got a hold of my gi, like he's just clearly forgot about that hand holding me. Tries to roll me over, and I catch the hand as he rolls me over, trying to work on the armbar or headlock or the triangle finish. Hyperextend his elbow, and I'm not sure whether he tapped to the pressure of the triangle or the armbar, but got the sub, and absolutely over the moon about it. So all in all, pretty impressed with my performance. Didn't expect much going in. I would have been okay to have lost all my matches as long as I learned something. You see him down there, 4-6 on points, so got lucky that I submitted him. But yeah, just to wrap up, I thought I'd hit you with 3 things that I've learned. The most significant things that I've learned from my first competition. So I was surprised at how quickly you get tired. Later on in this competition, I did no-gi. I had quite a few hours to wait in between categories. I fought the same 2 guys at no-gi and got beat off them both. Credit to them. And learned a lot doing no-gi, and like the time, the weight killed me. Like, I didn't realize I'd be so tired, but the same guys fought me, and they obviously weren't as tired and did a good job. But I didn't mind losing to them. I had a good roll with each of them in no-gi, and did okay. Didn't mind the loss in that. But 2 to 4 matches, 2 to 4 rolls in a competition, I'd say is enough, more than enough. Whereas you might do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rolls in a heavy session of training. I could do that week in, week out. But 2 to 4 matches in a competition, that's more than enough, really. So the Lewis from RJ Lee, who was also competing on that day, he had the biggest category of the competition, which was 16 people. And to win gold, he would have had 4 matches. So, if you enter one category, it's likely you're only going to have 4 matches, maximum, maybe 5. So 2 to 4 matches is enough. Obviously, enter both gi and no gi if you like, but yeah, that is more than enough. And then, not to mention the quite expensive competitions, in my opinion. This one was reasonably priced, and I got in there early with like a discount fee early. But yeah, probably 1 category will do you. Second thing is, make sure you get it videoed. Not as like, show off thing, or like, look at me, let me stick this all over my social media. Fine, do that if you like. But above anything, I learned so much from it, watching my performance and sort of reviewing it on video over and over again, like particularly about the guard passing, letting people pass my guard and give up points easily. But if you just review your performance, I suppose you could do it with any role. Film it and review your performance. It's something I've learned from massively. And have someone in your corner as well who can feed back to you. And thirdly, last but not least, I think it'll grow you doing a competition in your jiu-jitsu, and not to get too deep and philosophical, but it'll grow you as a person, and it'll bond you with your teammates a little bit more. Certainly if there's a few of your teammates competing on the day, you watch them, they watch you, mutual support. It will bond you with your teammates more, and it'll grow your jiu-jitsu and hopefully improve you like it did me. So that is my experience of my first competition. I got a gold medal in the gi, a bronze just for turning up and getting beat twice in the no gi, which is a sort of bittersweet thing. But yeah, all in all, fantastic experience, and I'd recommend it to anyone. Thanks for listening.